advisors on the RIA world, even though they have limitless possibilities, sort of get a little afraid.
Overwhelmed.
They get
Yeah.
overwhelmed by
Yeah.
the choices.
Yeah.
And even though they have such great flexibility, they don't choose to execute on that, right?
Right.
So I think what we want to talk to the audience about is, why is that?
Welcome to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa, brought to you by Elite Consulting Partners. It's the only podcast offering unfiltered guidance and a direct advice for all things concerning financial advisors, RIAs, and the practitioners in the wealth management business. And now, welcome to the show.
I'm Vince Leto,
I'm Sue Cheema.
and this is Advisor Talk JEDI Series.
Love it.
Welcome, Sue.
Welcome, Vince.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Rainy Wednesday out there, right?
Yep.
So we want to we've been in touch here, right? And we want to talk about custodial partnerships and technology that RIAs could use in their custody partnerships, right? Sue, I think obviously I have a good amount of experience working with RIAs.
Yeah.
And in the RIA world, I think there are limitless options when it comes to technology.
Right.
And it's my thought that that's a great thing, right? So when you compare the RIA world to a wirehouse world or an independent broker-dealer world,
Right.
there's a lot more flexibility, there's a lot more options. And that's viewed as a positive. What could be possibly a negative is that advisors aren't tech specialists. They're not tech, that's not really their forte.
Right.
And a lot of times advisors on the RIA world, even though they have limitless possibilities, sort of get a little afraid.
Overwhelmed.
They get
Yeah.
overwhelmed
Yeah.
by the choices.
Yeah.
And even though they have such great flexibility, they don't choose to execute on that, right?
Right.
So I think what we want to talk to the audience about is, why is that, right? Why don't they execute on that, besides the fact that they don't really know much about the topic, or they're not experts in technology?
Well, there are a lot of unknowns, and because, as you mentioned, there's a lot of possibilities out there, it's overwhelming for a lot of advisors to start to think about where to begin executing on any of the integrations. The other element that I constantly remind myself when I'm having conversations with prospects that have advisors is they have a day job, right? They have a busy day-to-day. They are catering to clients, and this is not something that they should be spending their time on,
Right.
right? So bring us in. We can help support the growth. We have had experience in over a decade in doing exactly this, and have learned through experience.
So the problem is that they don't know about the different solutions that could provide them lift in their business, right?
Right.
Whether that's operational lift, whether that could be helping their marketing lift, right?
Right.
Client experience, right? So they don't know the different tools that are out there, and it's our job to really study those tools and then interpret for them how they could best solve some of their problems, right?
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of advisors really look at it from a tech perspective that sometimes they're kind of thinking about it almost like, if you're from the wirehouse world or traditionally from the wirehouse world, there's a compliance person that sits in the branch, right?
Yeah.
There's an operations person that sits in the branch.
Right.
And they're kind of looking at the tech person as someone that I have to hire full time.
Yeah.
That's going to sit 2 doors down from me. I'm going to have to pay them, $100,000 a year or more,
Right.
because they're super smart techies, right?
Yeah.
And I can't afford that. It's just not going to be something that's going to be financially feasible for me.
Right.
Is that still the case today?
I think that's still the case today. I think there's a lot of value that comes in when you're investing in technology, because you get to do a lot more with a lot less as far as resources are concerned. So for that reasons, if you hire a full-time resource that's that's entire job. Their entire job is to just kind of optimize your tech stack. It comes with a price tag.
Right. What are the alternatives though, right? Obviously, I think we offer an alternative where they don't have to hire a full-time person, right?
Correct.
So how does JEDI help in this area?
So JEDI is a managed CRM service whereby if you have a Wealthbox or if you have a Redtail or if you have a Salesforce, all sorts of Salesforce overlay, which includes Salentica, Skyens, Practify, we can come in because we have worked with all these platforms and start with data hygiene, like is your data in good standing order. We could do integrations to create a more holistic view of your client.
Mm-hmm.
We could do automation thereafter to really reduce the redundancies and human effort so they can focus on creating that immersive client experience,
Yep.
and then ultimately create actionable analytics that they could leverage to make better business decisions.
Data hygiene. So that's a new one. Why is that important? I know we're kind of joking, but why is that important from a compliance point of view, right? Like,
Right.
obviously all these RIA firms are subject to SEC regulations and they have to keep, obviously they have a duty to keep their client information secure and clean.
Yep.
What's that mean why should RIAs or any advisor be paying attention to
us saying anything?
Data hygiene?
I think data hygiene is relevant for multiple reasons besides compliance. If you're investing in tech stack, if you have a book of business, your book of business is essentially broken down into data. Right, your book of business is data.
Yep.
So if you're not clean and accurate about it, at some point when either you attempt to grow or you have a succession plan, like if you're able to translate that book of business as a systematic way,
Mm-hmm.
you get higher valuation for it. That's first.
That's a good point. So what Sue was saying
Yeah.
is, you're a financial advisor. You're planning retirement for your clients.
Right.
And it's odd to me that a lot of financial advisors almost never plan to retire, right? They plan on working well past into their 70s, which is kind of shocking if you really look at.
Do you think that's changing?
I think that's changing. That's a good question and almost like a different topic.
Yeah.
But it's a totally different topic, obviously. Yeah. But it's changing where I think the baby boomers, right, are more of
they wanted to work.
I'm used to working. Yeah. Like my parents' generation worked very, very hard.
Yeah.
For a lot less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that's kind of like a psychological point that is really important.
Yeah.
That the baby boomers that are, 60, 65, maybe mm-hmm. nearing 70, they kind of feel I've got it easy.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't give up on this.
Yep.
Right? But I think that's also getting in the way of them enjoying the rest of their lives, right? And maybe benefiting from the business that they've built. Kind of almost got a little emotional there, right? Because I know it's kind of like that older generation definitely worked harder.
They did.
And the generation, the 60, 65-year-olds have also worked really hard, but they're living a much better lifestyle than their parents ever did. And I think to come full tilt, now the younger I don't even know what the younger generation would be called. Yeah. Gen Y.
Millennials.
Because I think I'm Gen X. I don't even, right? Like, but
Gen
the
Z,
younger
Alpha.
Generation looks at that totally differently.
They do. And I think the younger the advisors, when we're having these prospect calls, oftentimes they do have that timeline of succession planning, which is like, here's my book of business. I want to grow it for the next 10 years, 15 years, and I do want to sell it off, and I want to enjoy with my family.
Yeah. So we got a little sidetracked there.
I know.
Right? But good topic, and we'll probably come back to that because I think we might have hit on something pretty important there. But long story, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of choices.
Right.
And the custodians are trying to be the center of the advisor's influence or the advisor's world.
Yeah.
The billing and reporting systems like Tamarack, Orion, Black Diamond, so on and so forth, are trying to be the single sign-on solution for them as well.
Right.
Right. Obviously, providers like Salesforce, Redtail, and Wealthbox
Have catered to that.
play a huge role
Yeah.
in the advisor's day-to-day
Right.
functionality. Right. Like address change. New grandchild, open up an account for them.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So there's a lot of processes that are built through the CRM systems.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times advisors are kind of happy with the status quo, that they really need to be forced to make a change. But we're here to help advisors, and we're here to tell you that obviously you don't have to pay a full-time employee to have a data administrator at your service.
Right.
JEDI is a solution, right? For a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
JEDI could also help you with project work, right? From switching from one
Right.
antiquated CRM system
To anything
to something
new.
that's a little bit more modern,
Right.
and to a CRM system that private equity firms or other firms would value, right?
Yeah.
They might value your business differently if it's set up in a method,
A structured
in a
way.
structure that
Yeah.
other larger firms are following, right?
Correct. Or is scalable at the end of the day.
I mean, that could be, I don't know if we could really put a multiple differential on that.
Yeah.
But is it worth 1x more? Is it worth 1.5x more?
Right.
I mean, certainly if you're operating a large practice and the data is trash, that makes it a lot harder for someone to want to buy your book of business.
That's a fair point. I think what you're saying is if you do have systems and processes, but the data is irrelevant, it's not integrated, it's not really scalable, that's maybe not the right investment, and it's not giving the right return on your investment at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to create a strategy, your CRM strategy, and really plan it to the point like, okay, I want to create a data warehouse within my CRM, right? Connect, improve, optimize, automate, and really be able to grow it, and then, have a succession plan. If you do, great. If you don't, great. At least you have that growth mindset. The custodian integration is really important wins, because oftentimes what I've seen working with advisors is they tend to have a lot of data points within the CRM.
Yeah.
And over the course, as they grow, this information becomes stale. Through the integration, you're able to pull in updated account information, because you have to have updated, accurate information in your custodian. Right. So we were able to pull in, primary account holders' first name, last name, their address, their phone number, their email address, their social security, their date of birth, their mother's maiden name. You pull that into a CRM, you really have your KYC to do everything else with it.
Yeah.
Right? If they're moving, that gets updated in the custodian. You pull that into the CRM. Your accounts are always updated. So like when I worked at the RIA, they were doing subscription documents, and they needed driver's licenses. 70% of them were expired because no one ever looked at them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know? So having information that updates without human effort, so you can focus human effort on something more meaningful, which is human relationships.
Right.
Like, why not?
Yeah. So kind of like
scalable
and repeatable.
Exactly.
Is a big is a big catchphrase that we should be looking at, right?
Yeah.
Like so excellent. So what else is happening? I know you were at Future Proof.
Oh yes, I was at Future
right?
last week.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely insightful, definitely an experience. Learned a lot. Technology is front and center. Artificial intelligence is front and center, right? A lot of vendors there that are, we were doing a podcast earlier, And I was emphasizing that technology is becoming cheaper because there's a lot of competition out there. New platforms are coming into market much faster.
Yep.
So if you're not leveraging the tools that are out there, like, you're going to get life behind.
So we're kind of talking about traditional. Initially, in the beginning of the podcast, we're kind of talking about traditional tools that advisors could use. Now you throw on a whole new level of AI tools that could also be adapted.
Whole new world.
And it's it's just a whole different aspect that a financial advisor isn't expected to know. The ins and outs of how that could really help their business.
Yeah.
They really need to seek some financial, some help, right?
Yes.
So think of us as the financial advisor or the tech advisor for the financial advisor community, right?
That's really absolutely. And at a fraction of a cost, right? Like, we come in, we are price nimble, right?
Yeah.
We're here to empower our advisors to do more with less. And essentially, based on your requirements, we're putting a scope out. We're willing to work with you. Our motivation is to drive you to your goals.
Yeah. So tell us. I think you've had JEDI relatively new, right? Entity within the elite world.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But I think you've recently been approved on one or two platforms. Tell us about that.
So we just were approved as Schwab. We were in the Schwab list program, provider list program. I just want to say it right. So we are their preferred partner for the integration with Schwab, irrelevant of, so we are platform agnostic. Whether you're working with Redtail, Wealthbox, or Salesforce, we can help you integrate with Schwab if they're your custodian.
There's a certain level of due diligence that is required to be approved, et cetera, right?
Yes. So we worked with Schwab for over 3 or 4 months to get the approval.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at our entity, our experience, Elite as an entire business, and how we have helped advisors over 14, 15 years now.
Yeah.
And that's what got us the partnership.
So that's a certain level of credibility, right?
Absolutely.
Like if Schwab is kind of blessing you, it's not... It's a great endorsement, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, any others that are on the horizon? Or?
So we are a partner of Salesforce. We are working on BNY. We're also working with Wealthbox as well as Redtail. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, we are platform agnostic. We're here to work with advisors and help them grow, systematically speaking. So we're trying to partner with all the platforms that are relevant today.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're working with another custodian or clearing firm, we'd love to help you as well.
Yeah.
Everything's negotiable, right? So we
Everything
might be able to
negotiable.
extend some preferential pricing to you, right?
Yeah.
So consider us. Give us a call. Let us know how we could help. We think we could help on the tech aspect.
Yeah.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised as far as what the overall cost may be.
Yeah.
And I think the return on investment is significant, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're creating processes and systems in place that could improve your efficiencies, reduce redundancies, and really help you grow, I think it's a no-brainer. It's a good investment.
I think one of the big things that I hear many financial advisors say, over the years and consistently through today is, I wish I could have my staff do more. Right?
There you go.
I wish I could have my staff do more. And they may have an office manager, an operations manager, and sometimes they get bogged down by paperwork, entering in information in this system and that system, et cetera.
Right.
And advisors, plenty of advisors have it figured out, right? Like some of these big multi-billion-dollar RIA firms are doing a really good job.
They are.
And some may say they have more money to spend, but it's like advertising, right? You need to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
And the firms that are spending more money are usually doing better, right? Is that a good argument?
Well, so there's a bell curve, right? Like when there is new platforms, when you have the funds to invest and do the research, you tend to be the first adopters, right? That's great, but also it comes with some pain points because you're first adopters. You're kind of doing the the beta testing and live production, right? Which is awesome because you know exactly what works and what doesn't. I think where smaller firms tend to benefit is like they could learn or they could take the lessons that the bigger enterprise firms have learned and use that to their advantage. They don't have to spend $1 million or whatever on their tech stack and still have a fractional managed service come in, implement, and improve. And it doesn't have to be at that capacity. Like they're most likely not dealing with thousands of clients.
I guess the point that I was trying to drive is if you're not building workflows, if you're not automating your processes, you can't free up your operation manager's time. You can't free up your office manager's time to do something that is maybe more beneficial, right? Planning client events, right? Executing on client events that could bring you more referrals, more business, more revenue, right? So it's kind of like a catch-22, right?
I agree.
And where do you start, right? So I think it's pretty easy to see that certain firms that advertise are doing better, and certain firms that are spending money on automating their systems and building workflows are definitely doing better. That's the point that I really wanted to drive home.
No, that's absolutely correct.
So, all right, well, this was a good series.
Thank you, Vince.
Advisor Talk JEDI Series. We'll look to come back to you with some more informative information. We'd love to help, right? So look us up, eliteconsultingpartners.com. We have a landing page for JEDI now.
JEDIdatabasesolutions.com.
JEDIdatabasesolutions.com. Look us up. Connect with Sue or connect with myself. Again, my name is Vince Leto.
Sue Cheema at Elite Consulting Partners is my email.
We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. If you're looking for more advice or solutions on any topics relating to the financial services industry, or just want to subscribe to our podcast, head on over to eliteconsultingpartners.com/podcast.